Guyanese can look forward to a strengthened economy and sustainable development plans in a number of sectors, including security, health, and local governance, as outlined in Day 4 of the 2020 budget debates. Concerning the health sector, Minister of Health Honorable Dr. Frank Anthony told the House that the government's frontal approach to addressing the novel coronavirus disease is producing results in record time.
The People's Progressive Party civic government took aggressive steps to strengthen our response, ensuring that there was an aggressive laboratory testing program, expanding contact tracing, providing exposed persons with testing and counseling, providing for an effective hospital treatment and care program for the critically ill. Mr. Speaker, if there's a backlog, we have made arrangements with CARFA to be able to take off that backlog. We have made arrangements with the United States to send samples to the US if it's necessary. And we have already spoken to the people in Brazil so that samples from Region 9 can now go across to Brazil and be processed over there.
A whopping $3.2 billion is set to alleviate drug shortages at facilities countrywide.
Imagine my utter disbelief when a quick survey of the Materials Management Unit showed that on the 5th of August, there were 206 items of medicine and medical supplies that was out of stock.
Tenders for purchases were opened on September 17th, and the supplies will soon be delivered to the ministry.
To further stabilize the situation, the PPP civic government has put into this budget $14.3 billion, which would ensure that we have adequate stock of medicines and medical supplies.
Over to the agricultural sector, the once neglected sugar sector is set to experience a revamp thanks to the allocation of $5 billion to the Guyana Sugar Corporation, Gaisuku. In his budget presentation, Minister of Agriculture Honorable Zulkifli Mustafa said that the coalition government displaced over 7,000 sugar workers and their families, and another 80,000 persons by extension, even though their own commission of inquiry was against it.
Optimal use have to be made of the resources, especially where poverty is no stranger to society. That was one of the recommendation. The other recommendation, Mr. Speaker, it says the COI does not recommend the closure of any estate at this time. This is the COI. Financial support in the short term will be needed, and this should be provided by the government on a timely basis.
Over the next 5 years, Gaisuku will undergo an expansive transformation aimed at making it profitable again.
And in the next 5 years, Mr. Speaker, starting with Budget 2020, we'll implement measures to promote a diversified agriculture-based economy. We'll create more jobs. And many of our speakers over this side of the House, they have alluded that before the next 5 years, we will be creating over 50,000 jobs for Guyanese in our country. Mr. Speaker, we'll increase the income of our farmers.
The minister added that the government intends to investigate the distribution of prime sugar lands and equipment sold during the closure.
We'll have to deal with that when it comes. The commission, the joint assessment that we have put on the ground will come up with recommendations, and some people will have to face the law, what they have done with Gaisuku, Mr. Speaker.
The Guyana Police Force will also see a complete rehabilitation as government aims to once again bring pride to the institution.
Mr. Speaker, the Guyana Police Force is mandated now to restore a professional culture and pride to its institution. There are reassignments of responsibilities on the way which are not yet concluded. The regional-based system has now been put in place. We want the Guyana Police Force to be service-oriented. We have asked throughout the force and other agencies for the establishment of a 10-point iterative improvement program and plans to be embarked upon. Training and retraining and exchanges with regional and other police forces will be undertaken. And by regional, I mean at the CARICOM level and even by extension further on.
Officers will also receive the necessary gear to allow a smooth undertaking of their duties.
Body cameras are being used. Vehicle cameras will be installed in the vehicles. GPS tracking and certain citizen activity capture will be accepted. Random drug testing and program health checks will also be undertaken.
Local Government Minister Honorable Nigel Daramlal highlighted that $4.8 billion of the $53.2 billion budget will be expended on infrastructure across all regions.
We will be spending over $4.8 billion to rebuild roads, bridges, other infrastructure and buildings in our regions. And this is only part of what we will do, Mr. Speaker. So lots of development, thousands of jobs are going to be created, and we are on course to make sure that 50,000 jobs are going to be created in this country.
Additionally, sanitation management systems throughout Guyana will be rehabilitated. Minister Daramlal also pledged to bridge the gap between government and citizens.
Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development will be filling the gap between the government and the people, and between the people and the government. And I can assure you that moving forward, the people of this country, in our villages, in our communities, are going to get enhanced services.
A plan for youths has also been sectioned out in the Plan for Prosperity in a number of spheres, including sport, as the government aims to restore the Cricket Administration Act.
We will be having the Cricket Administration Act be restored to its original condition, where it will be fully enforced but in a matter of days.
The bill allows the Guyana Cricket Board to be established as a corporate body and better financial accountability. Out of a $2.7 billion budget allotted to the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, $805 million will focus on sport, with the remaining majority going towards the other two components. Since the country is combating with the COVID-19 pandemic, provisions have been made to see virtual presentations of this year's cultural activities.
Even though we are in the COVID pandemic, I'm happy to announce that as it relates to culture, that we are going to be proceeding with on the safe guidelines and virtual and broadcasted features. The dance festival, the drama festival, the song festival, and on the 27th of this month, we're going to be having the Amerindian exhibition, so you can look forward to that, Mr. Henry. We're also going to be having the One Guyana concert, as well as we're going to be doing the launch of MASH.
Member of Parliament Honorable Bagmati Veer Sami further solidified the government's aim to manifest transformation in Guyana's promising economy.
A people-oriented budget, one that has something for every Guyanese with standing occupation, gender, race, class, or geography. 2020 budget allocations has begun the journey that will allow wives, mothers, and single parents, the vulnerable and the underprivileged, to have more disposable income in their pockets, to improve their lives and conditions of living,